Oh yeah, that's different. Yeah, we can use that. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Keith Whitfield back in the house, delivering the second video of the channel. It's time to talk about approaching potential clients and some of the things you should be doing beforehand. Let's get it. So today we're going over how to approach a potential client and some of the things you need to do before even making contact. For all future references, I'll be applying these tips from my perspective as a videographer and a digital marketer. But rest assured, you can apply these tips across any niche that deals with customer service. Which brings us to tip number 1. In the beginning, as a newbie, you need to decide what's most important to you in the success of your business. And one of the best ways I've found to do that is to make a business plan. The benefit of making a business plan is that it allows you to take an idea from your head and turn it into something tangible, something you can see and read, which will help you determine which direction you should be working towards for the success of yourself. Most of the time, we waste time going back and forth with course correction every time we hit a block in the road. So planning out your execution in the beginning will alleviate a lot of these headaches and confusion when you're establishing yourself. It doesn't have to be this intensely overcomplicated process. It's something simple and straightforward. It usually helps to make a milestone that you can accomplish by breaking down into small achievable steps and mark a time frame for each steps to be completed to keep you moving forward. And if you're wondering what a business plan looks like, I'll link one down below that you can download and apply your own style to it. And that brings us to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is all about research. Before I approach any local business, I researched them first. I started off by looking at their websites, social media platforms, and how they rank on Google. By doing a little research in the beginning, it'll give you all the opportunity to deliver value first, which is key when you're negotiating with a client. Some of the things that I'm looking for is, do they have a video for advertising? And if so, how old is it? Is it high quality? And does it touch on the 3 main components of a commercial? Let's have a little sidebar real quick about the 3 main components of a commercial. Component number 1, what problem are they having and how much is it costing them not solving that problem? Component number 2, what value and solutions do you bring in solving that exact problem? And component number 3, what's the necessary steps they need to take in order to make contact with you? Now, we will be going into further details of these components of a commercial in future videos. I just wanted a brief introduction of those right now. So let's get back to the video. When it comes down to it, the more useful information you bring to a conversation, the more open they will be to listening to the value and the solutions that you can offer them. Offering your opinion on their selling points, like is it confusing, does it offer enough information, and how to be informative but direct to the point at the same time. One of the benefits of video advertising is that it increases conversions and online interactions by up to 80%. It's with these little facts like this that you can push the conversation forward towards closing them. Sometimes meeting a potential client in person is impossible. So this is where tip number 3 comes in, at emailing. This way of approach gives you the opportunity and the ability to make direct contact with the business owner and the ability to follow up with them if you don't close them on the initial approach. You just have to be a little bit prepared for this type of reach. What I mean by that, for myself, I'll be holding off on this reach because you have to have a lot more in place to win them over. Once you send the email, no matter how informative it is, how much value you bring, once they get done reading it, they're going to research you. They're going to look at your social media platforms and your websites just to make sure that your quality of work matches your words. So right now, I don't have a lot of these things in place. So I'm holding off on this type of approach. I'm in the middle of rebranding my company, so my websites and social media platforms are under construction. As an entrepreneur, this is one of the abilities and mindsets that you have to possess in order to know when to move and when to hold back depending on your resources. So if you made it this far in the video and you like the content and the knowledge that I'm dropping, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It helps with the channel, and make sure to hit the notification so you'll get notified every time a new video drops. Now, let's go on to tip number 4, which is cold calling. Cold calling is one of the old and tried and true methods around, but this also can be one of the most difficult ways to approach a business owner. Today, with all the scam lightly and telemarketers, people start off on the defense from the very beginning. So some tips to get past those defenses is that you have to have these 3 characteristics. First, you should come off confident. But don't let it get confused with being conceited. You just want to give off the appearance of knowing what direction you want the conversation to be headed in. Second, you want to be positive. And third, come off friendly. It's also a benefit to have a script in front of you with some values and critiques on hold, just so you don't get tripped up by no unexpected questions. One main key to cold calling is that you want the other person on the other side of the phone to be invested in the conversation. So for example, I start all my conversations off like this. Like, hey Dave, this is Keith from 24 Hour Productions. How are you doing today? By addressing them by their first name is letting them know that you did a little bit of research in the beginning and you're not just calling from some database or something. Yeah, I know, asking them how they're doing is one of the most generic questions that you can ask. Implemented with the 3 characteristics that I named off earlier in combination with asking, they will most likely be more open to answering without hesitation. And once they give you their opinion, they'll be open to feeling like they're more invested in the conversation, which is your initial goal anyway. But the ultimate goal is to get them to sign up, get an appointment to meet in person so you can nudge them into buying. Now for our 5th and final tip, which is a combination of the 4 previous tips. There's no one way of approach that would be your saving grace. It's a systemic combination of the 4 that would give you your best results. Unfortunately, it's a numbers game. So for every 10 tries, you might get 1 client. And if you do 100 people in a week, that's 10 new clients. You have to mold your mind around repetitive tasks of doing things over and over and over again to get your best results. There's no accomplishment obtained without having a lot of hard work and sacrificing being done in the background. We're no exception to the rule. So one day, one step at a time, and our dreams will be achieved. Which brings us to the motivational quote of the day, brought to us by Pele, a Brazilian minister of sports and former soccer player, which states, success is not an accident. It's hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, and sacrificing. And most of all, the love of what you're doing or learning to do. So until next time, YouTube. Peace.